76's Monster Mash!
Stephen King's It, 2017. Yeah, we're finally here with the review, folks. Long awaited. I read the book, and I really loved the original movie. The one that was like a TV miniseries back in the 90s. The one with Tim Curry. I'm going to be referencing that one a lot in this review, just because it was the first movie adaptation of the book, so I was a fan growing up of that one. I really loved that version of it. I thought it was great. And then after I read the book, I found out that the movie with Tim Curry was actually really close, and it was like pretty much a lot of the scenes were word for word spot on, but there was a lot that was in the novel that the movie left out. The 2017 version, they had a lot of stuff that was in the book that the Tim Curry one didn't have. The way the clown looked, like the color of his clothes. I just really do feel like with the look of Pennywise in the 2017 version, they just paid a little bit more of attention to how it was described in the book, if that makes sense. There was actually Patrick Hockstetter's death, like his brutal death in the sewer. I mean, his death in the movie is a lot different than it is in the book. Stumbles upon this refrigerator at the end of this trail, and he opens it up, and these things like thorn spike things come out and shoot him in the face and stick in his face, and his head explodes, and then Pennywise comes out of nowhere, and drags him off into the sewer. So it was a little different. In this version, in the film, Patrick Hockstetter is just walking around in the sewer, and he sees a bunch of the dead children. All of a sudden, like a balloon comes up and pops, and Pennywise is behind it and attacks him, and it's fucking dark. But there are things about it that I didn't really care for, because I did read the book, and I was really looking forward to a lot of the elements from the book to be present in the new movie, and in a sense I was kind of let down in a way, but that's just because I was such a hardcore fan of the book. The turtle was represented a lot in the 2017 version. And the turtle, which is in the book and is actually a huge part of the book, was in this one a lot. There's a part where Bill has like a turtle made out of Legos, and he gets scared because he sees like something run across the hallway, and he drops it. I really love Finn Wolfhard's portrayal as Richie Tozier, Trash Mouth Tozier, and Jack Grazer as Eddie Kasbrak, really awesome performance. They were basically like the comic relief of the film. Bill Skarsgård was a very good Pennywise. I mean, Tim Curry will always be my favorite, but that's just because I'm a stickler for the originals, and I just love the originals. But he was very good, he was really creepy. I love the part whenever he's in the sewer and he says, "Bill's gonna kill you." You know what I'm saying? And like the actor that's playing Pennywise's name is Bill, so it's really ironic. It's very cool how they did that. I really like how he drools a lot, what I'm saying, whenever he's like in the presence of children, he's like drooling when he's talking to them because he's so hungry. It's so insane. The 1990s version has nothing on the 2017 version just because of one scene alone, and you know what it is, and you guys knew I was going to talk about it, which is the sewer scene. I really love how they showed him get his arm ripped off, and then he got dragged down into the sewer system or whatever by the clown. I mean, in the book, basically, the clown bit off Georgie's arm, and then Georgie was like dead in the middle of the street. This old man comes out, and he's like cradling Georgie in his arm, in his arms, and Georgie's just like bleeding out through the giant wound where his arm used to be, you know, and he dies in the street basically. But it was really cool how they did show Pennywise's mouth like retracting like that and biting off Georgie's arm. You know, it was really cool to actually see it, you know, because they didn't show it back in the day with the Tim Curry version. There was the leper was involved, and that was in the novel, and that wasn't in the 90s version, you know. I don't know, I really do like how the original one with Tim Curry was in the right timeline, you know, like it took place in the 50s, and then like whenever they were older it was in the 80s. I don't know, the timeline thing just kind of bothered me a little bit, but I mean it wasn't that much to like completely destroy the film for me, you know, because I really do like how they were at the arcade and stuff, and the kids in the movie were literally playing Dragon's Lair and stuff, you know, so it was really cool. The main thing I didn't like about the movie is that there was no funeral for Georgie. That really sucked. It was like almost like he was just completely forgotten about, you know what I'm saying? There was one scene between Bill and his dad, but that was it. I really didn't care for the whole Henry Bowers thing, how he like killed off Belch and his other friend, you know, I can't think of the other dude's name, but I really kind of hate how he killed him off. I know they didn't show it in the theatrical release of the film, but in the deleted scenes, you know, he like literally slit their throats in the car. Henry Bowers is like kicked down a well, you know, and it's like, how in the fuck is he gonna survive being kicked down a well? It was pretty badass to see Mike kick him down the well, though. That was pretty tight. I like that. They actually showed zombie Georgie. They actually showed him in like a zombie form, because in the book it described him whenever Bill saw him again later on, how he was literally decaying, you know, and his flesh was decaying and everything, and they showed that in the 2017 version, and like whenever I saw that I was like, oh, okay, that's really cool. Really did like the effect whenever or the clown brought Beverly to his lair and he was showing her the deadlights basically whenever he opened his mouth. It like totally reminded me of like the scene from Beetlejuice with the chick with the eyes, you know. Each kid had their own like demons, so to speak, that they all dealt with, and they all took it out on that fucking clown. It was badass. They all overcame and faced their fears together. It was awesome. I really liked it. I just thought it was really cool how they actually like fought the clown in this one too, as opposed to like, you know, Eddie hitting it with his asthma inhaler, and then Beverly Marsh like shooting it with a piece of silver, you know, and then it going down to a drain. Like, that was cool, and I love the claymation from the old one, you know what I'm saying? But it was cool that they actually like fought him, you know, and then Richie has that awesome line where he's like, you dragged me down into these sewers and now I gotta fight this fucking clown, or something like that, you know, and it was just really awesome. And it was Georgie at first, and then it turned into the clown, and then it turned into like the hands of the people that burnt, you know, for Mike or whatever, and then like the mummy for Ben, I think it was, and he was even Beverly's father at one point, you know what I'm saying? The blood scene, I have to say, very epic in this one. I just really enjoyed how they incorporated all the kids' fears and, you know, summed it up into a monster. It was really great interpretation of the book. I loved it. I must say, I really love how the house on Neibolt Street was actually like a character in this movie. The scene with Pennywise and Eddie, it was just so creepy. He was drooling as he was like breaking Eddie's arm. I don't know. You guys have to see it. It was too much for words. There's a lot left up open for part 2 or chapter 2, what is what they're calling it. But overall, I definitely highly recommend the film. It was a great movie. I read the book twice, and I really liked the 2017 version of it. I will always love Tim Curry's performance in his version. You know what I'm saying? No one will ever outdo him. Bill Skarsgård's version was definitely great. Stephen King's It, 2017. You guys, check it out. If you're a horror fan like me, it's something that you definitely just don't want to miss. We all float down here.